There are systems built into every casino that guarantee you lose money. Not through luck or chance, but through psychological manipulation so sophisticated that most players never realize they're being controlled. Ex-casino managers who left the industry out of guilt are now revealing the exact tactics casinos use to extract maximum money from every person who walks through the door. These 12 secrets explain why the house always wins and why you've been programmed to lose from the moment you step inside. Here's what casinos spent billions perfecting and never want you to understand. Point 4. There are no clocks or windows, because time awareness kills profit. Walk into any major casino, and you'll notice something immediately unsettling once you're aware of it. No clocks anywhere. No windows to the outside world. This isn't aesthetic choice. It's weaponized psychology. Here's what former casino managers admit. Players who lose track of time gamble 37% longer than players who know what time it is. Every hour you stay increases expected losses by $200 on average. Casinos make about $1.2 million per day from a single floor. Extending play by even 30 minutes per person adds hundreds of thousands in daily profit. But here's the mechanism. Your brain uses environmental cues to track time naturally. Daylight fading tells you hours have passed. Clocks provide explicit reminders. By the time you check your phone and realize it's 2 a.m. when you arrived at 7 p.m., you've already lost the money you budgeted and more. Casino designers call this temporal distortion, and they engineer it deliberately. Artificial lighting stays constant. 24 hours. The same music loops endlessly. Temperature never changes. Your body receives zero signals that time is passing. You're stuck in an eternal present where leaving feels arbitrary and staying feels natural. That feeling is worth millions. 2. The carpet patterns are designed to make you dizzy and tired. Casino carpets are notoriously ugly. Loud colors, clashing patterns, chaotic designs that assault your visual system. You assume it's bad taste. It's actually strategic exhaustion. Here's what managers revealed. Those patterns are designed by environmental psychologists to create mild visual fatigue. Your brain has to process the complex patterns constantly, draining cognitive resources. This makes you mentally tired faster, which reduces impulse control and increases risk-taking behavior. Studies show visually fatigued people make 23% worse decisions about risk. But here's the deeper manipulation. The patterns are specifically designed so you can't focus on the floor. This forces your eyes up toward the games, constantly. Every time you glance down, the visual chaos is uncomfortable, so you look back at slot machines and table games. Your visual attention is being herded like cattle toward profit centers. The patterns also hide stains and wear from thousands of people walking on them daily. Maintenance is expensive. Carpets that camouflage everything last longer and look acceptable despite heavy use. Ugly serves both psychological and practical purposes. 3. Oxygen is pumped in and temperature is dropped to keep you alert and gambling. Former casino managers confirm what's been rumored for decades. Many casinos pump additional oxygen into the gaming floor and keep temperatures between 68 and 72 degrees. This isn't comfort, it's chemical manipulation. Here's the science casinos exploit. Higher oxygen levels increase alertness and reduce fatigue. You can gamble longer without feeling tired. Studies show people in oxygen-enriched environments report 15% less fatigue over extended periods. For casinos, this means players stay active for additional hours. But here's the temperature component. Cold environments keep you awake and alert. Warm environments make you drowsy and ready to leave. Casinos maintain cool temperatures that feel slightly uncomfortable if you're sitting still. This discomfort keeps you engaged with games rather than noticing you're cold. The constant activity of pulling slot levers or handling chips generates body heat that offsets the cold, creating a feedback loop where gambling keeps you comfortable. The oxygen claim is disputed by some casino operators who say it's illegal. But multiple whistleblowers insist it happens in major Las Vegas properties. Whether it's true or not, The temperature manipulation is confirmed and serves the same purpose. Keep you alert, active, and gambling longer. 4. Free alcohol impairs judgment. While keeping you confident you're fine, every casino offers free drinks to players. This seems like hospitality. It's calculated impairment for profit. Here's what the data shows. Players who drink alcohol gamble 20% longer and bet 15% higher amounts than sober players. But here's the critical part. Alcohol doesn't just impair judgment. It increases confidence while impairing judgment. You feel sharper and luckier when you're actually making worse decisions. This combination is worth billions to casinos. But here's the timing manipulation. Cocktail servers circulate every 15 to 20 minutes. It's optimized to maintain steady, mild intoxication without making you sloppy drunk and ejected. You're never quite sober, but never visibly impaired. You're in the sweet spot where you feel fine, but you're making quantifiably worse decisions about risk. Former managers admit the free drink program costs about 3% of revenue, but increases gambling losses by 12 to 18%. The ROI is massive. Every dollar spent on free alcohol generates $4 to $6 in additional losses. And players feel grateful for the free drinks, which builds positive association with the casino even as they lose money. 5. Slot machines. Near entrances and walkways are set to pay out more. Often you walk past a bank of slot machines and someone hits a jackpot. Lights flash, sirens blare. A crowd forms. This seems like lucky timing. It's strategic placement of loose machines. Here's what ex-managers confirm. Casinos place higher payout slots in high-traffic areas where wins are visible to maximum people. These machines might have 94% payout rates versus 88% for machines deeper in the casino. The difference costs the casino money on those specific machines, but generates massive profit overall. But here's the psychological mechanism. You see someone win, and your brain processes it as evidence that winning is possible and happening frequently. You don't see the 50 people who lost before that win. You see the one win. This availability bias makes you overestimate winning odds. You sit down at a nearby machine expecting similar results. That machine has standard payout rates, and you lose steadily. The visible wins also keep people in the casino who might have been leaving. You're walking toward the exit. Someone wins nearby. You think maybe one more spin. That one more spin turns into 30 more minutes and $200 in losses. The casino sacrificed $50 on the loose machine to generate $200 from you. They track everything you do and adjust offers to keep you coming back. Casino player cards aren't about giving you rewards. They're surveillance systems tracking your exact behavior to optimize extraction. Here's what the system records. Every game you play, how long you play, how much you bet per hand or spin, when you win or lose, what time you arrive and leave, what you drink, how fast you gamble. This data feeds into algorithms that calculate your exact lifetime value as a customer. But here's what they do with it. If you start losing heavily and play slows down, you'll receive a free buffet offer on your next visit. If you win big and might leave, you'll get comped hotel rooms to keep you in the building. If you haven't visited in months, you'll receive free play credits to lure you back. Every offer is calculated to maximize the total amount you'll lose over your lifetime as a customer. Former managers explain the system this way. The casino knows exactly how much you're worth. If you're a $500 loss per visit player who visits monthly, you're worth $6,000 annually. The casino will happily give you $1,000 in comps to ensure you keep visiting and losing the other $5,000. You feel valued. You're being farmed. 7. Slot machines make winning sounds. Even when you're losing money, you put $5 in a slot machine, bet $3 per spin, win $2, and the machine celebrates with flashing lights and winning sounds. You just lost $1, but your brain processed it as a win. Here's what manufacturers admit. Modern slot machines are programmed to celebrate any payout, regardless of whether it's more or less than your bet. You bet $5, win $3, and the machine acts like you won. Your brain releases dopamine from the celebration before you consciously calculate that you lost $2. But here's the neuroscience casinos exploit. Your brain processes audio-visual celebration signals faster than mathematical calculation. The lights and sounds trigger reward response before your logical brain does the math. By the time you realize you lost money, the dopamine hit has already happened. This creates positive association with losing sessions. Studies show players exposed to these false win celebrations play 30% longer than players on silent machines. The celebrations convince your brain you're winning more often than reality. Former slot managers call them losses disguised as wins, and they're the most profitable innovation in slot machine design history. 8. Table games near slot machine areas have worse odds. You're playing slots and notice a blackjack table nearby, offering 6-5 payout on blackjack instead of the standard 3-2. This seems like a minor difference. It's a massive profit extraction. Here's the math casinos hide. Standard 3-2 blackjack has a house edge around 0.5% with perfect play. The 6-5 version increases house edge to 1.9%. That's nearly 4 times higher. Over an hour of play betting $25 per hand. Standard blackjack expects losses of $8. The 6-5 version expects losses of $30. You're losing 275% more money. But here's why these tables exist near slot areas. Slot players don't know blackjack odds. They see an open table, sit down to try something different, and accept whatever rules are posted. The casino places the worst odds tables where the least sophisticated gamblers congregate. Serious blackjack players would never sit at these tables. Casual slot players don't know the difference. Former pit bosses admit these tables are called tourist traps internally. They exist specifically to extract money from players who don't know they're being cheated by rule variations that aren't illegal but are absolutely designed to maximize losses from uninformed players. 9. You can't win long-term because the math guarantees you lose every game and a casino has a house edge. This isn't luck. It's mathematical certainty that you will lose money over time. Here's the actual math. Roulette has a 5.26% house edge on American wheels. This means for every $100 you bet, you lose $5.26 on average. Play long enough, and that average becomes reality. Slots have house edges between 2% and 15% depending on denomination and location. Blackjack with perfect play has about 0.5% house edge, but most players make mistakes that increase it to 2 to 5%. But here's what casinos understand, and players don't. Short-term variance can produce winning sessions. You might win $500 tonight, but the math guarantees that over hundreds of sessions, you lose. Casinos don't care about tonight. They care about the thousands of nights you'll gamble over your lifetime. The house edge guarantees they profit from you eventually. Former casino mathematicians explain it clearly. The games are designed so you can win today, but you cannot win long-term. The math makes it impossible. Every bet you make is a negative expected value transaction. You can get lucky temporarily. You cannot overcome the math permanently. 10. Compter rooms keep you trapped in the building. For maximum loss, casinos give free hotel rooms to players who hit certain gambling thresholds. This seems like generosity. It's prisoner detention with a nice view. Here's how the system works. Most casinos comp rooms to players who average $200 per day in expected losses. If you play 4 hours at $50 per hand on blackjack, you'll generate about $200 in expected losses. The room costs the casino $60. They're spending $60 to guarantee you stay in the building and lose $200. But here's the deeper manipulation. Once you have a comped room, you're anchored to that casino. You're not driving to another property. You're not going home. You're stuck in the building with nothing to do except gamble. The casino has transformed you from a customer who might leave into a captive audience with zero friction to gambling at any hour. Former hotel managers explain the metric they track. Guests with comped rooms gamble 3.5 times longer than day guests. That increased time translates to 2.5 times higher losses. The $60 room generates $500 in gambling losses versus $200 from someone who drove in for the day. Whenever dealers and staff are trained to be your friend while they take your money, casino dealers are trained in customer service that feels like friendship but exists solely to keep you gambling longer. Here's what the training teaches. Remember regular player names. Ask about their lives. Celebrate their wins enthusiastically. Commiserate with their losses sympathetically. Create personal connection that makes leaving feel like abandoning a friend. Studies show players stay 40% longer at tables where dealers know their names. But here's what dealers admit after leaving. They're taught specific phrases that encourage continued play, disguised as friendly conversation. "You're due for a win" is statistically meaningless, but it keeps you betting. "The table's been cold, but it has to turn around" is gambler's fallacy packaged as encouragement. "One more hand. Your luck is about to change" is literally a script in training manuals. The dealers aren't bad people. They're employees doing their jobs. But their job is creating emotional connection that overrides your logical decision to leave. The relationship isn't real. It's engineered retention strategy. 12. The exit is hidden, but the ATM is easy to find. Try leaving a casino quickly. You'll walk through maze-like layouts, passing slot machines and table games at every turn. Now try finding an ATM. There's one every 50 feet. Here's what former casino designers admit. The layout is intentionally confusing with exits obscured and gaming areas unavoidable. Studies show players try to leave, but encounter 4 to 6 gaming areas before finding an exit. At each encounter, 18% decide to stop and gamble more. This recapture rate represents millions in revenue. But here's the ATM strategy. Casinos want you to run out of cash while you're still in the building. If you have to leave to get more money, you might not come back. If there's an ATM 20 steps away, you withdraw more and keep gambling. Former managers reveal that ATM transactions have $3 to $5 fees split between the casino and ATM company. On busy nights, a single ATM can process $50,000 in withdrawals. At $4 per transaction, that's $20,000 in fees before gambling even happens. The combination is devastating. Exits are hard to find, so you stay longer. ATMs are everywhere, so when you run out of money, refilling is effortless. You're trapped in a system designed to extract every dollar you have before you realize you should leave. Here's what all 12 secrets reveal. Every design choice, every policy, every detail exists to separate you from your money as efficiently as possible. The lights, sounds, layouts, free drinks, player tracking, machine programming, game placement, staff training, room comps, and exit confusion are all weaponized psychology. But here's what makes it work. Most people never notice. You're having fun. You're playing games. You're enjoying free drinks. The manipulation is invisible because it feels like entertainment. The dealers are friendly. The machines are exciting. The rooms are free. You're not being attacked. You're being milked. Former casino executives who left the industry describe it the same way. "We built behavioral traps using billions of dollars in research about human psychology and gambling addiction. The systems work because people don't realize they're in systems. They think they're making free choices. Every choice was engineered before they arrived." If you walk into a casino understanding these 12 secrets, you'll see the manipulation everywhere. The carpet will look deliberately ugly. The missing clocks will feel oppressive. The free drinks will seem suspicious. The celebration sounds on losses will feel insulting. Once you see the system, you can't unsee it. Gambling stops being entertainment and starts being exactly what it is. A mathematical extraction system disguised as fun.